listen to the people calling us slaves. I can feel the sun.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Brian, and today is Friday, February 2nd, 2024, and this is episode 625 of the Lost Project podcast, and it's titled Apologies Are Due. I'll be chatting about more alignment with the Daily Stoic. I will be issuing an apology and talking about our weekend plans, what I have planned for today over the weekend, and whatever else comes up, else comes up. Good morning. Let's see who's hanging out in the coffee crew in that live chat. Grab a cup and hang out for about an hour. Good morning, guys. Lots of chitter chatter, little chitter chatter in the chat this morning already. I like to see that starting at 4 o'clock or so, which is always fun to read when I get logged in here. Rachel Rewilder Life, good morning. You're talking about flashlights to carry. Says hubby's doesn't her husband, the one he carries, they don't make it anymore. It was a little too big. That doesn't happen to be the Nebo Pal 2 Plus, the one with the fold out knife and battery bank, does it? Because I recommended that one. I really like it, and they don't make it anymore. So I've actually had listeners contact me about it. Sucks. It is a little big, though. It is definitely a little big. But basically flashlights at the moment. James was talking about the solar lantern that I got in the mail to review that came with the solar panel. I don't necessarily think that would be an everyday type of thing. It is a little bulky for a pocket, but I use the stylus, the Streamlight Stylus Pro. James has a couple of recommendations and things like that. So just wanted to hit that before I missed it, and it got buried in the comments. Good morning, Rachel. Good morning, Chris Dixon. How we doing? I replied to your message this morning. That was an interesting thing to wake up to. Why? Computer updates. Gingerbread Farms, how we doing? Thanks for all the comments this morning going in. Jim squeaking his way in the door. I hear those wheels running on his walker for sure. And oh man, scrambling, still partying on his way to bed, tripping still from last night and home from a concert. Not sure if he's sleeping or if we will get to interact with him at all throughout the show. Good morning, Canadian Farmstead and Blakesley Acres swinging in. How we doing? Gingerbread says he gave away the Streamlight Mini to the people at work. Yeah, I don't have the Mini. I have the full-size one. I have big boy pockets. And carry big boy things in my pockets. Morning, Clark. How we doing? Says good morning. Hope you're all doing well. Didn't know I had a cold until I woke up this morning. Time for some coffee. Oh, I hate that, waking up and feeling like shit, man. And sometimes it's just a little tingle the night before or after or during the day before, maybe a little bit of a headache. You just like, nothing really too bad. You wake up the next morning and then you just like want to hit the reset button. What's in the cup today, guys? I'm still sipping on that Peruvian. Am I missing the steam? Uh-oh. I don't know. What steam? Stream? STREAM light? I don't know. I didn't post a picture of that. Gingerbread morning, Pip. How we doing? Happy Friday. Gingerbread Farm says 2 and a space pen. 2 of the Streamlight Minis and a space pen fit in the watch pocket nobody uses. Is that the 5th pocket? Is that what that is? A watch pocket? I don't know if those were installed in jeans when people were still carrying pocket watches. I would venture to say that that's the coin pocket, or it's not the coin purse. Not the coin purse. The coin pocket, the dollar pocket. It is a watch pocket, huh? Interesting. Never heard it called that. I just heard it called the fifth pocket until they made cargo pants. Sipping on some Peruvian, enjoying it. Food Forest Farms. If you guys haven't tried Food Forest Farms and you're looking to try some fantastic coffee, do me a favor and head on over to his website. Check out the new landing page where it's super, super easy to buy coffee instead of having to dive deep through levels and layers of websites. Now it's right there on the front page. Bam! Buy a coffee. Buy coffee. Drink more coffee. Drink more coffee. The stream. Oh, Bree Wilderlife is having trouble with her laptop playing the stream. Good morning, Jim. Good morning, Jim. Are you just sitting on the porch with your walker and your cane? Do you have a cane and a walker, or maybe a walker that converts into a cane that you're just like shaking at the road? Good morning, Haas. Chris Dixon makes a good point. Says cargo pants are just a way for men to have a purse without the straps. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Canadian Farm says cargo shorts are my jam. I'm a fan of the pockets. I'm not gonna lie. I went away from cargo and went towards carpenter because I realized the stuff I was carrying fit in the carpenter pocket on the side, and then I wear such large pants that I have large pockets, so I can get everything. I go in and I go in and have plenty of room in those pockets if I need. So, Jim, Jim should liberate an electric cart. Liberate an electric cart from Kmart. Is Kmart still open? Is Kmart still open, guys? You guys got a Kmart near you? I grew up with a Kmart in my town. That was all we had for shopping. Actually, I take that back. We had a Nichols department store for a while, and before that, it was something else. But that was before my time that I could remember. All I remember is Nichols, and then James Way was in that same building, and Kmart was their biggest competitor down the road. So Dixon says he wears car painter pants. What is that just because you're a car painter and you put the pants on? Gingerbread says Duluth fire hose cargo. I would venture to say if they haven't changed the pants at all, that Duluth fire hose pants, regardless of cargo or whatever style they are, is definitely a highly recommend. They are expensive. They do last a long time. Only reason I went away from them and back to Carhartt was I got a job that I was just destroying pants, and I couldn't, and like not necessarily tearing them, but getting them oil and grease stained, and I couldn't wear them after. Once you spill diesel on pants, it smells like diesel forever. And I didn't want to spend the money to wear really good pants there. So I started buying Carhartt again, which is still, it costs enough, but a little less than the Duluth trading. Rewilder remembers the Kmart cafeteria for sure. Pip bought his first gun at Kmart. Chris Dixon lives in Tyvek. Oh God, everybody's telling their pants choice here on Friday morning. Tyvek and duct tape. Mike's Homestead. Good morning, MSU Rifle. How we doing? Where he wears the fire hose cargo nearly every day. I should probably just buck up and buy a couple pairs. They'll last me forever with how much I would wear and tear them anymore. I really like them. Jim, buy some 3-in-1 oil or something for that damn thing. Rewilder Life says they need to make women's cargo pants, but they'd ruin them. Hey, Corey, were you happy with the loose women's line? They were okay. Meh. She says meh. They were okay. Corey doesn't like women's clothes either. Some. Oh, they suck. I thought she said she likes some of them, but she says they just all suck. Oh, right. Well, what is on the list for today? First, I was going to hit on. I was waiting a little bit, delaying and stalling a little bit to see if Kyle, the backwoods butcher, showed up. I'm proud of the kid. I got two things to talk to him about him today, uh, but he isn't here. He isn't here, so we'll talk about him behind his back. Without him here, he can't defend himself. Man, the Daily Stoic yesterday was about anger and not getting angry, not at least outwardly outbursting anger. Then this had two poignant or two like light bulbs went off in my head, and why it was relevant yesterday. I struggle with this. I struggle snapping, like boiling over a little bit or a lot of it. The dogs, the living situation, and it wasn't just at that point. It happened before. It happens a little bit more as we've moved into the camper, but I'm working on it, and I feel horrible every time I snap or blow up or things like that. Never really violent. What's that? Oh, not really violent, but just anger. And I feel bad every time I do it, and I realize that I shouldn't do it. And yesterday, when I opened up the Daily Stoic, it was talking about not doing that. And Jesus, Chris Dixon says, as you get older, you yell at more clouds. Is that because you become wise and you just stop yelling at other people and you just start yelling and screaming at the clouds? Hey, Jim, what was the natural progression of who you yell at? So anyway, that is something that I'm consciously working on. So to see it in there, it was nice. It was refreshing. It it really drove home that it shows weakness to let your emotions out of control. Not to not feel your emotions, but to let them outburst like that. That there's better ways to channel that. And it was just a quick point I took away from it. But the other thing that made it relevant yesterday is our young man, our young buddy Kyle, our buddy Kyle is going to quit smoking. Yeah, I said it on the air. He mentioned it in a couple groups yesterday. So it's real. It's real. We got a bunch of people that are going to be um, all over his ass if he continues. But we're going to help him. And I thought he kept wanting to wean himself off. He wanted to wean himself off. He kept talking to me about, oh, well, I'm gonna use this Zyn or whatever, the gum or this or that. And I said, bitch, just stop. Kyle and I have both talked about quitting drinking and the point in your life when you figure you have to do that. And he just kind of quit. He quit. He said cold turkey, I'm done drinking, and didn't drink. So I sent him a nice little motivational speech about, did you quit drinking by having a couple beers every now and then to make it easier, or did you just quit and do it? And he's like, well, I'm gonna be worried. I'm worried that I'm gonna be a dick to my family and this and that. And I was like, well, talk to your family. And I know your kids are too young to understand at the moment, but I'm pretty sure they'd be okay with dad being around a little longer. And your wife is obviously able to understand that you're just a dick in general, so she can deal with it a couple more days, and then you'll just be a sweetheart after that. But it really made me want to send him the Daily Stoic book and say, dude, when you want to scream at someone, just read this, carry it in your pocket, do something. Like there's stuff that we can do to alleviate that, and that's something that I'm working on right now myself. So helping Kyle through this tough time is something that we all can do. And I was hoping he'd be here so we could give him a little support. If he listens to Blakesley Acres says no smokes on Survivor. Yep. Rewild Their Life says way to go. All sorts of fun stuff and support for him. I think he's got it. He's got it. Pip says he said it a few times. Yeah, he has. Gingerbread says he might have to stop having cereal for breakfast when he goes on Survivor. Yeah, yeah, I mentioned it, and that's the other thing I wanted to talk about Kyle this morning. Is that he applied for Survivor? He applied to be on Survivor. Now, I remember when Survivor started. It appears that Kyle applied for Survivor season 48, I think is what he said. I think he said 40. Chris Dixon, I'm gonna star that. I want to talk about that in just a second. I remember when Survivor started. I remember watching it when it started. I don't know if I ever watched it like live. As it was like unfolding. I think it was more of a catch it later when it was simulcast or rebroadcast or whatever they call it, syndicated. I don't even know what the word is, but I'm familiar with the show. Corey and I have watched seasons, old seasons, like on Amazon Prime when we didn't have anything to watch and we wanted to just kind of veg out. So I'm familiar with the show. I have no idea why you'd want to be on it. And Kyle says, because it's awesome and you could win $1 million. I do. And so anyway, Corey and I want to be supportive of Kyle. That's he's a good kid. He's a good friend. And so we wanted to be supportive of him and know what he was in store for. So we pulled up Prime last night and we found Survivor. Corey looked and found Survivor. There's a bunch of seasons on there. And so we were just curious what this has devolved into, because there's a pretty good pattern with reality TV shows that you go the first couple of seasons and they're good. And then as the third season shows up and people know they're going on the show and they're starting to get to the gist of it, they try to act. And these aren't actors that are on these shows, so it just gets really bad. Is what my experience has. Most reality shows, most series really, I feel, get to season 3 and then they fall apart. So anyway, we pulled up Survivor. We didn't get very close to episode to season 48. I think we picked season 24 just to ease our way into it, not into the full insanity of what it really is now. And so I'm watching it, and I sent Kyle a message, and he was too. He was watching a different season, and I was like, "Oh God!" And so I was just trying to picture Kyle on this show, and I chuckled a lot. I would pay for a streaming service or whatever I had to do to watch Kyle on Survivor. And like no questions asked for sure. But as we're watching Survivor, and everybody, if you go to survivorcasting@cbs.com, email that and say you want to see Kyle the Backwoods Butcher, Kyle Perot the Backwoods Butcher. You want to see him on Survivor. They'll have to listen if we get enough people to email in. But anyway, as we're watching this, Corey pays a lot more attention to things than I do a lot of the times. And all of a sudden she's like, what did it say she was? Like it was, they were talking to somebody. Gingerbread says all 5 of us. No, we got bigger communities than that, man. We got bigger communities on that. The girl was talking and it was like a soliloquy or a solo. They were asking her question or whatever. She was explaining something. You know how they put their name up and it says their profession. Well, we had seen like lawyer. We had seen like one girl was a timeshare rep, and one was a former teacher or an elementary school teacher, and one was a cop, and one was a aspiring stand-up comic. Like jobs where you'd be like, oh yeah, I could. It's a job. They put this girl up. We rewound it just to verify what she thought she saw. This girl, her claim to fame, her employment, her thing that she put on the world to see, to think about her, said ex NFL player's wife. Ex NFL player's wife. My first question to Corey was, did she divorce the NFL player, or did the NFL player retire? Is she an NFL player's wife that is no longer an NFL player, or did she end up divorcing the NFL player? And Canadian Farm says that's a lucrative job. I'm like, wait. Like, Rewild Their Life says, we need to pool in and get Jim some tennis balls. He's just over there squeaking. Jim, have you fallen and you can't get to the computer to type? You're just up there hitting squeak, 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 squeak. Clark says I'd be gay to have that job. $20 is $20, man. God. Half of NFL salary, huh? When you leave. James says, like a military wife, listen to my husband. Listen to me. My husband's an officer. Yeah, I've talked to countless servicemen that I've known over the years, whether they be customers at the bar or acquaintances or friends that went into the military, that they just love those officers' wives, especially when the officers deployed. Red Farm says, I don't know about Clark. Those guys are pretty big. God. Oh, so that was shocking. That was shocking. And as we're watching it and the drama, and we're only in episode season 24, and now they're at 48. So I can only imagine this is ramped up and gotten worse. But Corey just keeps looking at me like Kyle wants to choose to get himself in the middle of this shit. Kyle wants to deal with this stuff on purpose. And she's like, I would never do it. I said, if they randomly picked me and asked me to do it, I would do it. I don't think I would ever seek out that. But I think I could play that game. I think I could. I would be miserable. I would definitely be miserable on the inside, but I can be miserable for 40 days. I mean, earlier in my journey through life, I was miserable for 6 years. So I could do 40 days. I can fake it for 40 days. I want to get back to Chris Dixon's comment here about stoicism. Let me roll back up to it. He says, you have to keep in mind that the Stoics, as they're called, were far from perfect, but they journaled and reflected a lot and learned from behaviors. And that's why I'm okay with it. Chris nailed it. Chris nailed it with that, because I feel like there is a lot of this wisdom that's already instilled in me from other channels. Whether it be stoicism, just because I didn't know it was the name, or just through other channels, like I mentioned yesterday, it gets picked up quite a lot. But I've kind of turned that focus into exposing myself to the newer ideas that I'm finding in the book, but also trying to, like he says, learn and adapt my behaviors to what I didn't realize that I already knew. if that makes sense. If that makes sense at all. But thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. And we can only hope to get a little better every day. Rewilder Life says Kyle needs to start getting fat. He needs that extra. Yeah, I was talking to him about that a little bit with the quitting smoking thing. He's like, yeah, I'm putting up a pull up bar. I got my weight bench accessible now, and when I get that anxiety and the anger from not smoking, I'm gonna go work out. I said, Jesus, dude, if you start doing that, by the time you go on Survivor, you're just going to be a monster. The dude's big to begin with, like my size, big, tall, and big boned. If he starts having Nick fits and doing pull-ups and push-ups and lifting weights every time he wants a cigarette, the dude smokes like 6 packs a day. So Jesus. And I told him, I said, you're going to be all muscle bound, but you need to put on the fat so you can make it for the long haul. We're actually, he's pretty convinced he's going to get on because we were talking strategy last night, like what to draw on his votes to throw everybody off, how to play the game. It's gonna be interesting. I really, really, really want him to get on just to witness it. Let me see what's going on here in the chats. I think we're all caught up. What else do I have on my list here today? Apology time, guys. It's apology time. I have to make a public apology. I feel bad. Rich Rewilder says I may have to get TV for this. That's what I told him. I was like, dude, this is the one thing that would make me get TV again. Like, I don't know if there are very few things that I would get TV for. And I think Kyle being on Survivor would be one of them. Yesterday I had a moment when I realized Canadian Farmstead. Remember when Kyle was on the final season of Survivor? He killed all the other contestants, roasted them, processed them like hogs. Oh, we got another taker. Chris Dixon says if Kyle makes it, I'll subscribe to a streaming service. We might just have to call CBS and be like, hey, if you put this kid on, you know how many more viewers you're gonna have? Because none of his friends watch TV. Oh, long pork, human bacon. He's smoking human bacon in camp. He sneaks over to the other tribe and he steals the people. His buddies wake up in his tribe and they're like, oh, who's cooking breakfast? Kyle's like, I got it. Not good. I really wish he was here. Oh man. So yesterday, I tell a little story and then I'm going to issue a formal apology. Yesterday, early in the day, so rewind just a little bit. I ordered new steps for the camper. I have to install the new steps. I told Hunter asked what long pork is. That's a conversation for offline. Just I ordered camper steps. I talked about how the original ones are finally shot. The second ones to go. We ordered the same stair system as we put in the front. It comes in a huge box. I knew they were going to ship UPS, and our whole situation here. Why I go to the post office all the time. First of all, is USPS won't deliver to your address if you don't have a mailbox. We don't have a mailbox here. We have an address. We don't have a mailbox. UPS and FedEx and DHL or whoever will deliver here. We tested this theory out when we ordered our recliners for the camper. Like I can get an idea of the size of things that that USPS won't ship. So like these recliners, these steps, I've already gotten one in the mail. It's a huge box. So I knew that it was coming UPS. Post office wouldn't deal with that. So I put the delivery address as our address here. UPS will bring it. Worked last time. So I ordered it. I got the tracking number. Originally, the tracking number said Thursday morning. Then it got changed to Friday morning almost immediately. And I was like, okay, here we go. More bullshit with this. More bullshit with UPS. It shipped UPS. I confirmed that. And so all week I've been like, all right, it'll come on Friday. Not a big deal. Maybe I'll get it in on Friday afternoon or over the weekend. And hopefully this steps that are about to snap off will hold out for that long. Corey and I have both been using the ramp instead of going up the side of the steps, which has been helping because it's distributing the weight. And I think we were going to hold out. Well, yesterday morning after the show, I got a notification that it's now going to be delivered on Thursday. I was like, oh, early. I mean, the original delivery date, but early because all week it had been Friday. And I was okay with Friday. So I was happy. I was like, okay, well, maybe the union thugs felt bad about busting up my boxes and all the shit that they've been putting me through the last couple weeks, and they're trying to do better. They're trying to do better. And so I sat there and waited all day. I opened my window here. I'm looking out and waiting for the UPS guy to come, and it didn't show up. And so Corey got done with work at 3:30, 3:45, and we went to take the dogs for a walk. Stairs weren't here. I was like, they updated it to make me feel good, and it's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be Friday anyway. So we leash up the dogs, and we're going on our walk, and we're walking down the road, and we see the UPS truck coming. And I'm like, the guy's got my stairs. He's heading to the house. He's heading to our house, our trailer, our camper, whatever. It's our home. Home is where your heart is. And so I was like, Corey's like, oh no, do we need to go back? Will he stop and leave it? And I was like, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll leave it, but maybe we have another neighbor here on the property. And when they delivered the chairs, that was FedEx, but they left them over at her place. And I was like, she doesn't need to deal with that. Whatever. And so I was like, oh, well, I'll wave him down. I'll get him to stop. It's like relatively slow road. And so Corey walked ahead with two dogs. I got Norman. I wave the guy down. He waves. I wave again to stop him. He waves again. And I'm like, no. I like put my hands up. I'm like, stop. He stops. He takes his earbuds out. He's like, hey, what's going on? And I was like, hey, are you headed to 115? Sure am. I said, you got steps for me? He goes, yeah, it's a really, really big box. Yeah, I know. I've gotten them before. I said, you can leave it right next to the red truck. I said, just lean it against the truck or over by the truck. I said, we just got to walk the dogs. I said, just leave it there. Be no problem. I appreciate it. No problem, sir. You have a great day. I'm like, whew, all right. So we watched him pull down the road. We finished the dog walks. We came back. I looked at the box, not a dent, scratch, nick, or anything in it. The whole thing was perfect. And it was a day early. Well, I mean, it was the original day, but we'll give them credit. They changed the estimated date and then they rolled it back. They could have just held on to it till today. But I have to apologize. UPS did their job. And I feel like we've gotten to the point in our world when somebody actually just does the bare minimum. Actually, the guy went above and beyond. He stopped to talk to me. He was very friendly and did what I asked. So That's all I can ask. Man, UPS is what it is. I apologize for busting on their balls so hard. It was a tough situation here in Tennessee for a while with the snow and the ice and getting behind. And I get it. Sorry, UPS. Please take care of my packages as well as you did my stairs. There's my apology. Pip says, unions trying to do better. I almost had coffee come out my nose. I laughed so hard. I mean, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Chris Dixon says you're rewarding mediocre behavior again. That brings up something that, I was in customer service. Man, I want to say when I was a bartender and a server, but even long before that, I worked at a country club at the desk, at the greens fee desk. Not a hoity-toity not like nice high-end country club. When I was a kid, it's getting very nice, but when I was a kid, it was a country club. It was a golf course, 9-hole golf course is what I would call it. I worked the desk. I rented the carts. I got greens fees from people, things like that. But I dealt with people daily. I also worked at a gas station as a counter guy, and it was a full service station, so I pumped gas, things like that. And so that was customer service. All decade of bartending. Like I'm very tuned into customer service. And there was a time we were back in Minnesota, and I think it might have been before COVID even, that Corey and I were sitting at a restaurant. I can't remember if it was a restaurant or a grocery store, someplace where we had someone um, giving us some customer service. And I mentioned something to Corey. It was something the server said something, did something, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's really nice. It's nice to get good customer service." And I sat back and thought for a minute, and I'm like, "This is basic shit. Why am I to a point that I'm happy when someone is doing the basics that people used to do? That the quality has gone down so much that you're excited when you get mediocre service someplace. You're like, well, at least they took care of me. Why are we there? Why are we there? Chris Dixon says, if you have customers, you're always customer service, whether you deal with 10 or 10,000. Yeah, I mean, it is. It is. A lot of times as an employee, though, you get stuck in the factory and you aren't dealing with customers. I just recall always. Well, and I guess the side hustle nature is customer service beyond, like, on steroids when you're the little guy trying to make it against the companies that have a customer service department when you are the customer service department. But anyway, yeah, that's something that's really, compare the service you got in the 90s, in the early 2000s, in the 80s, when you went to a restaurant, when you went to a diner, when you went to wherever, really, the grocery store. If you didn't use self-checkout. If you use self-checkout and your customer service sucks, that's your own fault. Hunter says, yeah, my praise should be specific. UPS driver Fernando Rodriguez, number 259, he says, didn't an outstanding job. I'm guessing did an outstanding job. Yeah, I mean, I would love to give the guy an attaboy, but I didn't get his name. Like, I don't need to be his friend. I just wanted him to leave my box by my truck. Pip says I'm getting close to 3 years without working with customers. Internal smiles. But you want to sell duction cups. Ah, it's Friday, guys. Are you excited? It's Friday. You got any big plans this weekend? Hunter says dictated, not read, as in RED. He's going to probably try to say that was dictated also. So I appreciate UPS. I got those steps to install this weekend. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, probably not Sunday because it's supposed to be raining all day. I got a ton of videos to make. I got to change the battery in my laptop. Also got to give the new shower a test run. We got our new shower up. It came with that big box with a big rip in it that I posted a video. I posted a video on Telegram group. That's it. Chris Dixon says it's Groundhog Day and got me all thrown off. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, oh yeah, it's Groundhog Day. Did I see somewhere that the vegans are trying to, or the PETA is trying to get Puxatawny Phil a reprieve, and now they want to flip a coin for Groundhog's Day? Like, the whole point is the little critter comes out of the hole, and if he sees his shadow, he's scared and he runs back in. How are we going to do that with a coin? Like, are these people really? That's probably the most well treated rodent in the world. And they want to put it out in the wild so a hawk can come and rip its head off and eat its guts or whatever they do. Oh no. Pip says it's Anne Ryan's birthday. Go and read it in 1984 in honor. And Rewild Her Life. I don't know if that's something that you really want to put out in public. But she put it in the chat, so it's out there, and I'm going to read it. Rewild Life says, Lord, forgive me for my former PETA membership days. Oh, that's why Jim's squeaking so much. It's Groundhog Day. He got confused. Jim got confused what we do with the groundhog on Groundhog Day. Squeak, squeak, squeak. She says she was a Greenpeace member and a vegan. Oh, geez. She says it's proof that some of us change. Guys, I think we found the Fed. Chris Dixon says I like pita bread. Goes good with meat. And Rachel says now I kill things all the time. Definitely a Fed or a cop. Oh, squeak, squeak, squeak. Jim, you reminded me of when we were in Minnesota. When we were in Minnesota, I always found it interesting. Do you ever stop and think about college mascots? Nah. Like I think this was back when they were trying to get rid of all the Indian names, Native American names, the North Dakota Sioux, Redskins, Chiefs, all that stuff. And I was contemplating college mascots, and I was like, oh, I live in Minnesota here. We got next door, we got the Wisconsin Badgers, we got the Iowa Hawkeyes, we got all of this, and then here in Minnesota, it's the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And so I used to I went to the engineer at the startup I worked for had just graduated, or was an alumni of Minnesota, and he was big Minnesota sports fan. Lived down near the school, and he would go to he'd go to the arena all the time, and he was a big Gopher basketball fan. And I said, their theme song should be "Golden Gophers, squeak, squeak, squeak." Like, so intimidating, that animal, that golden gopher. Just Dixon says, "Oh, the names that natives didn't care about." Yeah, like red, like the Chiefs, the Redskins, the guy that they used for the logo of the Redskins was like his family is like he was honored. I don't know. None of my business. I'm not a Native American. I can't tell you if they're offended or not. I can say if they call the team the wandering homeless guys. I wouldn't be like, oh my god, I'm so offended. They need to take that off. Oh, Rewilder Life is so you went through your vegan phase at 14. I think my sister was like 8. I'm not eating meat. The two fluffy chickens. Oh, that cow is so cute. No, that's my wife now. And then she's like, give me a hamburger. I love that cow. He's so cute. What are we having for dinner? Steak. God. Oh, yeah. So the new shower set up. Got that set up yesterday. That's it's different. It's significantly different than our one we had. I'm excited to give it a try. It seems a little roomier. It now has a door in the center where our other one was kind of like a flap that just kind of um the flap that just kind of draped in the middle that we just tied back the whole time. This has a zipper door, so we have 2 separate rooms, one for dry, one for the water shower head side. And it also allows us to like enter one door and go through the middle into the shower side. So we were running into issues how to situate the tent along with where I support the water heater. So we have an on-demand propane water heater that we have to suspend from my ladder, and I hook the ladder to the bumper or somewhere, affix it somewhere to the trailer. So it really limits where we can position the tent that then goes into. The tent isn't sturdy enough to hold the water heater, so it limits things, and you have to kind of we really think outside the box on how we set it up. So yesterday, Corey and I went out. We moved it around. We located the spot for it. We have the tent up. I have the water heater and the ladder set up. I have to run the hose over to the new location and grab the propane tank, and we're good to go. Give it a shot and see how that goes. So that's exciting. That'll be quick this morning. I got some cleanup to do around here. Like I said, I got to install those steps. I got to install the battery in my laptop, which will be a new adventure that I haven't ever opened this one. And I'm really curious. Some reading that I've done into these HP pavilions is that one of my wireless internet um the Wi-Fi receptor wires might have come loose. Might have come loose because I get low reception quality from the laptop, and as I looked into it, see if there was settings, things like that in the laptop. There are. I checked them, and my settings were all proper. But other people were saying that they eventually opened the laptop, and part of the power connector for that device have come undone. So it's a known issue. It was more than one person. So I'm curious when I open the laptop and replace the battery if I'll have to do a little solder job on a wire or so in the laptop. I don't know. I don't know. I'm slightly proficient at circuit board soldering from my gas station days. I don't know if I want to do it on the laptop that I am currently relying on until I have a backup situation in line. But we will see. At least I'll be able to determine if that's the issue or if it just sucks trying to bounce the Wi-Fi signal around inside our home here. Gingerbread Farm says which animal you are rooting for depended on which Mutual of Omaha show you are watching. You guys ever seen Guy on a Buffalo? Phenomenal. Phenomenal. I believe there's 3 parts. 2 parts or 3 parts. Check it out. Google Guy on a Buffalo. Rewilder Life says I need this at our camper because 4 days out of the land working, we get a bit stinky. Yeah. I'm pretty much over the dude wipes and the wipe off showers and the tiny shower and cleaning yourself not in a long ass. It was a long stretch. I thought that the long stretch when we took off and we had to use the RV shower 6 months until we found that outdoor the outdoor shower in Texas was like a game changer, and that had been like 6 months or so. And it's only been a few weeks since our outdoor shower was destroyed by wind, and then we had the cold snap, and then we had all the rain. So it's only been a few weeks, a month maybe, and I'm like so much more ready to have about a half hour shower out there and just sit in it. Chris Dixon says, now I'm singing that damn song all day. Gingerbread says I live in a Faraday box. Yeah, but the signal is inside the Faraday box with me. It should be it's only like 20 feet away from me. I do have a stainless steel heat guard between the router and my computer for the wood stove, so I'm wondering if that's it. Rewilder Life says any issues with hard water in it. I'm guessing there will be buildup in the tankless heater. I'm guessing that yes. It's a guess. It's a guess for sure. But the tank heater, the propane heater was like under $200. So if I can run it for a year, and it bogs down because of hard water, I think it's kind of a replacement thing. Chris Dixon says dog slobber reflects the signal. We should have no problem then. Yeah, I mean, I think it probably has an effect on it. It probably has an effect on the heat exchange. Once the hard water builds up scale on the inside of the pipes that it flows through, because I haven't taken it apart, but I have to assume that there's a burner and the water flows through the pipes, and there's a heat exchange that goes on. So as the hard water mineral scale builds up on the inside of the water tubes, it won't transfer heat as effectively. Just a guess. Just a guess. I don't know. I don't know how else it would work. Just by the functionality, you can turn the burner up and down to adjust the heat, but you can also adjust the flow rate, which when you lower the flow rate, the heat of the water goes up. So that's basically just letting it idle in the heat exchanger longer. I don't think they're flash boiling it by any means. So I would have to assume that as scale built up on the tubes, that it would exchange heat less and also change the flow dynamics and things. So just a guess. Just a guess. Chris Dixon says most on-demand manufacturers suggest water softener before why we still have a tank. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Um, the ones that I'm buying are on the very, very low end of the spectrum, as far as flow rate, as far as heating capacity, as far as gallons per minute. It's very on the low end, and it's meant for us to throw in the back of the truck and throw in the bathtub of the camper and use with whatever water we find. And I think it would be a long term, just a consumable, basically a consumable. So Um, they have a BlakesleyIxer says they have a solution to flush the on-demand units out. Interesting. Interesting. Real Other Life says for the camper we go cheap. Yeah, I mean, I figured like this tent that we got, the new tent that we got, we gave it a go. It's $80. I figure if I get 6 months out of that, I basically rented a shower for like $15 a month. It's worth it to me. I don't want to replace it every 6 months. If I get longer out of it, it just brings that cost per month down. Um, so yeah, that's why I didn't buy the $300 tent. That's why I didn't buy the $400 on demand water heater. It just works. It works. It works for what it is, and if I can make it last a long time, it's more or it's less dollar per day. If it takes a shit, I didn't blow my wad on it. Well, wait. There you go, Jim. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Squeak, squeak. Other than that, Corey and I are going to get out again. It's been 2 weeks since we've been out to Chickasaw State Park because of A, the cold, and then B, the rain. And we're going to take off tomorrow morning. We're going to go do another 5 mile hike out there. I'm excited to do that. My buddy Kerry Brown is swinging down today to go walk around Delinquent's Gully. He has been out there before doing some plant ID, some tree ID, some permaculture thought and design, note taking, and we're going to go. We're going to we're gonna hit it. We're gonna go out, walk around. He is over on this side of the state doing some consultations up near Camden. He's gonna swing by SOE and then come down. We're gonna walk Delinquent's Gully and likely go get some dinner with Corey and I and Carrie. I always enjoy seeing Carrie. I always enjoy spending time out at Tim's property with Carrie. He's an absolute wealth of knowledge, and I'm excited to check that out. Um, Morning, John Palmer. How we doing? Hunter says run. I'm guessing it says run LCR through it backwards, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the tube size and everything in there. I think if mine takes a dump, I will probably take it apart and definitely see what's in it. I know Carrie has done some welding on his when he has left it outside or it didn't drain completely and it froze and broke and leaked. I'm hoping when I turn mine on today that there are no leaks. I'm hoping that we got it inside before any of the damaging cold has been around. But yeah, maybe LCR threw it backwards. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Something to look into for sure. But busy weekend coming on. Coming up. Lots of lots of information, lots of work, lots of video, and moving forward into next week, I'm excited to come back and share another week of shows with you guys. Really working on what kind of show it is, and I think this week is really laid out to what's going to be happening going forward. I've enjoyed it. I've had a good time. It's been a solid, workable amount of prep. I've just been taking notes on interesting things, interesting articles that pop up, stories, this, that, and the other thing, and then mixing in the day-to-day life of what we're doing and whatever comes up in these comments. And I'm really enjoying it, guys. I appreciate all you hanging out in the mornings. I threw out 5 more gifted memberships. I get 10 a month, I think, as the channel owner. I don't think they go to anybody I have seen in the audience. Jamie got one yesterday, and I think out of the list of people that got free memberships, they're probably people that like the dog shorts, and they're like, "What is this?" So let's keep it weird, guys. Let's keep it weird. I appreciate all you guys watching, and if you enjoyed the show, it's always free to hit that like, share, and subscribe. To return value to value for value to me, please consider joining one of the YouTube membership tiers or listening on any value for value platform like Podverse or Fountain.fm. Visit thelotsproject.com to find more information or to find all my links. It's Friday, guys. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Make it make it a great time. Jim, it's Jim. He finally got off of that groundhog and says, "Get off of my lawn." Have a great day, Jim. Try to stay awake past 10 a.m. We'll talk to all you guys later.